Okay, we are resuming the class 3. All right, so in the module 4, this is the session 3, we're going to talk about deserts. And, so we have different types of deserts, and these are some things that we want to actually limit because sweet, salty, and fatty foods are high in calories. Many of them are low in vitamins, minerals, and protein. They're often low in fiber. Plus, the sweet foods are high in sugar. So, in a sense, this is not something that you would want to have as if you want to reduce your risk, of type 2 diabetes. And the things about these is once you start eating a little bit, then you kind of having more, and voila, after some time you end up feeling like really like, oh, why did I eat this? So better to just avoid as much as possible, but these are easier said than done, but just keep that in mind. So sweetened beverages like sodas and sweet tea, sports drinks and fruit flavored drinks, candy, cookies, cakes, and other baked desserts, honey, ice cream, milkshake, and coffee drinks, maple syrup, and sugar. So these are some of the sweet foods. You would want to go ahead with something?
Yeah, and the salty foods, processed snacks, foods like chips, pretzels, snack mixes, and crackers, French fries, which is everybody's favorite. But yeah, I guess we have to go easy on that. Processed foods like bread, pizza, tacos, canned soups, and sauces often have hidden salt. Processed meat like bacon, sausage, and ham, salt you add at the table. So salt is something you have to take into consideration and try to go easy on it.
Yeah, on that. Right. I think as a South Indian meal, especially we eat a lot of curd rice and we always add salt. I've stopped taking salt with that, and still feels good. So fine. So that's one thing I'm very happy about my habit, that I actually don't take salt with my, curd rice, or like even, I've been trying to move away from curd to buttermilk, but it hasn't happened yet. Sometimes I do.
Yeah, that is something that ends your meal and gives you satisfaction.
Right. Absolutely. Fatty foods, definitely butter, creamy salad dressing, especially like when we've been told to put like a lot of ghee in our rice, which I believe there's a modern science is actually against that. So I'll let you guys be the judge of that. I don't want to give a lot of suggestions, but if you can limit that a little bit, I think that would be great. And then creamy salad dressing, deep fried foods like French fries, fatty, and then full flat dairy like ice cream, cheese, and whole milk and cream. And then processed foods like lard, some of those, or we don't eat any of that, but hopefully. And so yeah, like I mentioned here, like any sort of deep frying, curries, deep frying, like, a lot of things, which they obviously taste really good, the crust, but it's not really healthy for you. So try to, avoid them, or, reduce their intake. All right, so we'll go to this next one. So, using what you've learned today, build a dinner plate for yourself, based on your favorite meal. Include foods that you really enjoy eating, draw lines to separate portion sizes, and then write what foods would be included in each portion. When you completed your plate, share your ideas with the partner and discuss the changes you'll be making from your and then what you'll not be willing to change. All right. So get into strength. What are that I actually don't, it's okay that I don't need to add salt to my curd, right? So that's a strength. So similarly, I like raw vegetables better than cooked vegetables. So that's a strength because obviously raw vegetables have a lot more fiber. So then, how do you build on that strength? Grow your own veggies and fruit. So in your garden, if you have some area to grow, grow your own veggies, that means you actually have fresh vegetables. You buy always veggies and fruits in season, and then you kind of get creative with salads. Like for example, one day you had a, one type of salad, and the next day you can try different types of salad. So that way, it'll help you with, eating vegetables is really great. I think you should have like a lot of your plate with it. This is kind of very fairly, not a alien concept to us, right? So for South Indian meals to have raw vegetables. However, I think we do get a leg up because we do, use a lot of vegetables in our cooking. Even though, but you have to be careful, make sure that there's a lot of enough fiber, that you don't really overcook them, so you lose all the, a lot of the fibrous nature of the raw vegetables. So, all right, with that, go ahead, Swati Garu.
So one of the strength is I like to cook healthy meals for my family, but I don't have a lot of time for planning. So most of us actually cook our meals at home, so that is not a big hindrance to our, I mean, that is our strength. And the way to build up on it is get help, include your family in meal preparation, such as cleaning, prepping, or cutting up produce. Plan your weekly meals so you can cook a meal that works based on the time you have and what you have on hand. So most of us work, so this is the way to, help plan, get help from your family, and then consider prepared vegetables from salad bars or the frozen section, which can be reasonable options. So sometimes frozen vegetables do help when you don't have time. You can just open up your freezer, and instead of chopping, you can just use them from a bag. So healthy eating to prevent diabetes is healthy for the whole family. So it's like when you prepare a meal at home, you can control what goes into it and how you cook it. Uh, like preserving the nutrition of the vegetables. So this is one really good way. And most of us Indians, we do cook every day. So this is actually our strength. So
Right.
go ahead, Praveen.
Yeah, no, that's a great idea. So, and then one of the strengths is I do pretty good all day except for X. So I think a lot of people are good at, like, for example, for me, I'm good at like breakfast, lunch, dinner, but then I'm really bad at snacks. So I end up snacking all day, which, which is really, yeah, I guess it's a little bit better than eating, but a lot of times it's actually bad for you, because you don't know, you don't have any control over how many, how much and what you're eating. So I guess ways to build up on your strength is like think about what makes certain part of the day and certain food choices easier. And then think about what makes certain meals or parts of the days harder for you. Try to be especially mindful of what's going on during and around this meal and time of the day. That's for me. It's like whenever I ever get stressed, I end up eating more. I feel like I need that extra energy. Consider if you're waiting too long between meals or snacks to eat. If you're waiting too long, that's good. Observe if you're feeling rushed and finding it easier to choose something quick. Notice if you're eating out of boredom. Like a lot of people, when they get bored, like they're sitting in front of a TV, they start eating. That's not really good, because you're adding a problem. And then think about the meal options or the environment you're in to influence your choices. Like for example, you are working from kitchen all day, so that's always the proximity of the food can actually influence your choices. So try to move your, like any sort of like a computer or any of those things out of the kitchen. So things like that. And then paying attention to your daily routines and patterns can give you insights and then make it easier for you to decide what changes to make and how. So for example, if you're writing down, oh, I'm eating way more snacks than necessary because I'm have like too much too many meetings. So I think try to cut down on timings to meetings, or try to take a break, and then take some, meditation classes or breathing exercises to, instead of like, eating, which is, not a good idea. All right. So, go ahead, Swatika.
So for those of us who love to cook, but are not sure what to, how to make it. So there are a lot of recipes out there on the internet, and there are a lot of shows out there and videos. So you can, add to your recipe repository, try out new foods, and then cut down on added salt, sugar, and fat like butter or oil in cooking, and limit and measure the salt. Try preparing your favorite foods in new ways, like roasting vegetables, grilling, or baking the vegetables or potatoes. Get cooking tips from friends. So, this particular recipe, I actually make kale chips instead of potato chips. Chips made out of kale are very light and crispy. So that is one thing, that's an example of what you can add, what you can, innovate in your cooking.
That's excellent. Did you
So,
actually make
you,
kale chips, or did you bring that from
no, no,
outside?
I make them.
Oh, that's great. All right. I think you should share that recipe next time.
Sure. Yeah. You can eat healthier while you cook at home. So you can control how much salt you add. And so that is, when you cook at home, you can actually control what goes into the dish.
Right. Mhm. That's a good point. Very good point. All right. So I guess with that, yeah, I think we're gonna end this E12 module. Like I mentioned before, there is a quiz, so you can go to the personal success tool module, and then they actually have a lot of quizzes. So I recommend all of you guys to do that. And then with that, I guess we're done for today. So, have a nice rest of the day or night. And thank you for tuning in.
Thank you.
Bye.
Hope you all enjoyed the Eating Well module.
Yeah, I did.
All right. Good night.